Hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work.
Fall in.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what it is. It's me, your boy Trey, and you are rocking with your favorite vets on the net. First Formation, morning sports talk. So come on and fall in with us as we get talking about what's been cracking, what's happening in sports. I know a lot was probably waiting for the opportunity to speak on it. A lot to talk about, engage this morning. I hope y'all's days is going exceptionally well. What's good, Steve? What's going on, man? What's cracking? What's good with you? Uh, so of course, uh, leaning off. Let's just start with the light stuff. That stuff, like I'm not gonna say that people don't particularly care for, but you got a lot going on, particularly this week. For the most part, a lot going on, which we should be able to talk about it. Some for the most part. Of course, over the course of the weekend, just wait for it, Mr. Horn. Just wait. So, of course, when you look at it first and foremost, the Florida Panthers faced off against the Carolina Hurricanes. Best of 7 series to grant that team a punch ticket to the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. In this case, the Panthers currently up 2-0 in the series, especially on the Saturday, winning their game 2 by the score of 2-1 in overtime. Last night, the Golden Knights took on the Dallas Stars, currently up by 1 in their series. Showed some grit last night, able to come back from a 1-0 deficit, tie it, and then go ahead and take the lead after it was tied once again, getting their win in overtime for the second night in a row for them, second consecutive game. Golden Knights take a 2-0 series lead by winning by the score of 3-2 over the Dallas Stars. Of course, the tip off tonight for the Hurricanes and Panthers again in Florida this time. A lot of teams in these championships is handling business on other teams' courts. We saw the Lakers get handled last week on their court. I ain't gonna say handily, but it was very effective. You just seen Vegas take care of business on took care of business on their court. Now going to play in Dallas on Tuesday. The Hurricanes got handled on their court on their hockey in their hockey arena. It's starting to get a little contentious. You don't want to be a away team during these playoffs because you might get sent home. It doesn't home court advantage doesn't mean a thing. Just like I was saying, talking about them rings. In the MLB, Major League Baseball. What's good, TT? How you doing this morning? Definitely a marvelous morning. Let's not start early, TT. You too soon, TT. Too soon, TT. Oh, but we are going to definitely talk about that in a second too. Haney and Lomachenko. Let that sit there for a second. Damn, we just be taking the L's all the way. Los Angeles Dodgers faced off against the St. Louis Cardinals in Louisville, in the Lou. 10-5, the finals. Dodgers got to do better. New York Yankees face off against the Cincinnati Reds, with the Reds not coming out victorious, loses to the Yankees by the score of 4-1. The Philadelphia Phillies Chicago Cubs 2-1. Cubs lose. I thought they won. Huh? The Washington Nationals and Detroit Tigers. Washington Nationals get the win by 6-4. The Atlanta Braves knock off the Mariners by the score of 3-2. The Arizona Diamondbacks get an 8-3 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Baltimore stand up knocks off the Blue Jays 8-3. Milwaukee Brewers knock off the Rays by the score of 6-4. Cleveland Guardians fall to the New York Mets in the game one of the doubleheader, 5-4. Chicago White Sox. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to say that. The Chicago White Sox take care of business, beating the Kansas City Royals by the score of 5-2. The Oakland Athletics face off against the Houston Astros. Stros walk away 2-0. Rangers and Rockies 13-3. It was like the Rocky was in there. Miami Marlins and San Francisco Giants win by a score of 7-5. Giants. Minnesota Twins and the Angels face off 4-2 Angels. San Diego Padres goose egg the Boston Red Sox by the score of 7-0. And last but not least, game two of that doubleheader versus the Mets and the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians fall to the Mets by the score of 2-1, of course. Hey, what's good, Lissette? What's going on, brother? What's going on this morning? Glad to have you in formation with us. So, real quick, just as my lovely sister uh, was talking about Saturday, pretty good fight in my opinion. I don't know how many or whom tuned in or checked it out. That was the battle for the white light heavyweight championship. What's it light heavyweight? Middleweight. As we seen Devin Haney take on Vasily Lomachenko in a fight that pitted two top contenders. So you got to listen to the backstory or the backdrop on this real quick, and we're going to get into the conversation. I know that everyone's looking to have, or even looking to tear me up on, but it's coming. Basically, if you think if when you look at it, it was a light lightweight championship. So the backdrop on this particular story is um, wait one second as I bring our guest for the day in, that being the esteemed commissioner of the Military Basketball Association. If y'all didn't know, the Military Basketball Association is getting ready to get it cracking. Get it ready, get it ready, get it ready as they pulled up in Wichita to take assault on the military basketball community as they are next up to show their prowess as the teams of the Military Basketball Association will be facing off in Wichita, Kansas to crown a champion. But they also will be doing a whole bunch of other things. I want to let Commissioner Myers talk about that. Y'all thought I was just going to come on. What's good, Commissioner Myers? How you doing this morning, sir?
Oh, everything's great. Everything's great. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yes, sir. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Lakers will win 4 straight. I'm with you, Coach Wayne. I'm not going. I'm not finna sit up and turn tail on them yet. I think it's anything. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Let's go, LeBron. We need to see that again. Uh, keep up alive. That would be historical, of course. Win tonight, and we all have to do is win one game at a time, Coach. That's all it is. One game at a time. What's going on, Commissioner Myers? So I was just talking about, we're going to get into that in a second because, of course, we want to give due diligence because Miami is on a tear. But first, we're going to talk real quick, and I don't know if Commissioner Myers is checking it out. Lomachenko, Devin Haney, having lightweight championship. Did you catch it, Commissioner Myers?
I did not, but I heard it was a controversial decision.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
As I looked at it, it was interesting. Of course, I was just giving the backdrop. Of course, when you look at it, Cam also Jr. held a dispute championship in which he was supposed to fight Lomachenko, but of course, you know the conflict between Russia and Ukraine kicked off. At that point, Lomachenko decided to go front fight for his country as opposed to fight for the belt. Devin Haney steps in. He was able to basically win the belt, become the undisputed lightweight champion, and has defended his title 8 times consecutive times. He considers himself number one. Lomachenko decides to come back a year later to try to reclaim that spot where his opportunity. Looking at it, it looked like he had did exactly that. Of course, winning the late rounds, three of the late rounds. But evidently, obviously, when you look at the scorecard, two had it 15-13. One had it number 115 to 113. One had it 112 to 115. In state, Devin Haney walks away with the belt, but it is Lomachenko felt as though he was robbed. Very good fight, as Commissioner Myers was just saying. And he didn't watch it; he heard about it, but it was a very good fight. Key things which they talk about, saying that basically it was anyone's fault. They said it was a lot of sway rounds that came into effect. So again, someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose. Everyone's gonna feel a certain type of way, especially if they're not on that winning end. But there's a winning end coming up.
Did he
Commissioner
knock him out?
Myers. No. It was they both. I don't think anyone was even knocked down. It just went 12. In which he walked back away with the belts. Of course, Shakur Stevenson was there. He spoke on it and kind of like gave his thing. He's like, Lomachenko, that should have been Lomachenko's belt. But Shakur Stevenson is next in line. He's trying to get his time frame. He's like, he's not running. He's like, they called him out. He was in the ring after the game. I mean the game after the fight ended, and he was did a short interview, and he was like, they called him out the last time he Haney fought, or the last time Shakur Stevenson fought. He's like, now he's there. They running. They don't want to talk to him. So he's hoping to get his chance. Basically, especially when he's saying that David Haney didn't win. So, Commissioner Myers, I know you're ready to go. Just a couple of days from the Labor Day weekend, enacting mental health awareness days. Let's start there. How did that go? What was that? Did you suit up? Did you take a ride, jumped in one of the chairs and
I
show
I
that
I,
you
I didn't.
okay,
I was prepared to, but we
okay,
had enough. We ended up having enough
okay.
to come out and really make a difference. And wheelchair basketball is something that everybody um, that anybody can do.
Uh-huh.
And it's important. And just got a chance to talk to some of those guys who are veterans, some of the folks that are in the warrior transition units and stuff like that. So it was good. It was a really good thing as part of what the NBA is about, as far as building resiliency in team sports. And so I was glad to be a part of it. I was glad to partner with Bill Hanslick and Gold Crown Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of stuff with the Denver Nuggets. So I'm there. I was there that morning with Bill, and he actually got in a wheelchair and was
Okay.
walking around. And then he was at the Lakers Nuggets game that night. So it's real cool. I mean, Denver's a cool city. It's uh, definitely where they've been so giving to the NBA. CBS Colorado was good with us as well. So
Mm-hmm.
the more we can get the NBA and what we're doing out into the media atmosphere, the better. I wasn't happy that the Lakers lost, but I mean, it was a great day for mental health awareness and mental health action, and it was important, and it was just one more thing that we can put under our belt as far as events in the year.
So, could you expound a little more on the initiative and how you came into that space for that particular day?
Yeah, I can actually. I mean, we first of all, we've gotten to some real good points in the media, with
Mm-hmm.
some big time entertainment partners, and so that all came about with Paramount Veterans Network. Really great people. We have some pretty cool contacts there that see what we're doing, and see what the coaches are doing across the league, and so we had a target of opportunity to do an event. So we were going to do it in Kansas like the week before. So I was going to go to Kansas and just do it the week before and hype it up. But then I was just like, man, where can I do this where it's easy? And, you know, um, Gold Crown was like spot on. Hey, good morning, Mickey Delaney.
What's going on, Mr. Delaney? Glad to have your information with
Mr.
us this morning,
Delaney,
brother.
man, from Washington
Washington
State. Pretty
State.
awesome, man.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
So
hold it against him.
yeah, no. Great stuff, and hopefully we can get some action up in that area next season. But nah, it's just Paramount was helping, and then our we had a representative from DirecTV that was on the panel. So
Okay.
I mean, Paramount, DirecTV, um, the skies, CBS Sports, and now we've got this new feature that we're about to introduce into our tournament that is going to revolutionize military basketball. So I have a press release to put out today. But our stats and our live streaming are about to go to the next level. And so had a great coaches call yesterday. I said maybe 5 words. So we have a great team. Al Mayon, Jason LaFaciano ran the coaches conference yesterday, the coaches meeting. Very minimal questions. A few questions were out there, but it's just exciting, man. I mean, it's a really exciting. I mean, what a difference a year can make, and the progress that these guys have done and the team has done. So yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited. I see Wooten out there.
Mr.
Lots of
Breeze,
lots
yeah.
of this. I mean, there are so many things that I don't want to get into with respect to the tournament, but
Roger that.
there are so many underlying stories and um, just great stuff. Just resiliency for all these teams, and we have a team coming from Germany now, so it's really a world championship, and it's just it's the best. I mean, I think we have the best platform in the world. I really do, and I love it, and I stand by it. And anything we can do to make it better, we will. I mean, we're already locked in to go back to OKC for the coaches summit and the coaches conference. So and the All-Star game. So it's fun, man. It's fun. You're heading out too, right?
So I
Maybe.
was,
You
yeah.
don't want to make any news right
I,
now.
yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm not. Well, it's fine. Like, so basically, I mean, if y'all look up, my walls is bare. That's mainly because in the process of moving, as we've been talking about, said a couple of times. So at this time, within the next couple of days, I'm gonna be back and forth as I get up to pull stakes up, and going to be moving on from I was going to be there. Woo, I had every intention on being there, but unfortunately, I'm not because the process of moving. So I'm going to be leaving Fort Johnson, Louisiana, and taking my talents or wherever. I'm going to be in Fort Fort Irwin,
Oh
going
man, Fort
back
Irwin just
into
got a
Cali,
major
Cali.
media sponsor.
So yeah, so now I'm gonna be in California for a couple of years and see what I can act in that area. So in the Fort Irwin area. So I'm gonna be doing there, but I will be back and forth. But during the particular time during the NBA championships, I'll be most likely on the road and doing stuff like that. So, but I actually won't leave from Louisiana until July, in the middle of July. But I'm gonna be on the road during that time in June. So I mean May in top
Man,
first part of June.
I had a nice little spot for you set up.
I was fighting it every way
You
I can.
know,
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna leave. I'm still not
I had you next to DirecTV and Paramount and all the and then you had your own little space where everyone could come up and give post game interviews
and I had it all.
and
I had it all played out in my head.
no,
I
you're
was
good.
just
It's
be,
good,
so
man. I
it's
mean,
but saying it's hopefully saying Lord willing there's going to be other opportunities and stuff like
well,
that. So of course saying
there
y'all.
will
So
definitely be
yeah,
other opportunities.
yeah. So it's going to be saying everything happens for a reason. Uh, so yes, my contract coming to the end, that's one of the places I have that can go to. We gonna see definitely. I'm very sure we are really couple to see. So, Commissioner Myers, like you was just saying, y'all go to you go there. Friday night, Friday evening, y'all have the home of Hall of Fame, which is a
Hall of
staple.
Fame, man.
Yeah, staple with the NBA. How many inductees will it be this year?
We'll have 11. We'll
11.
have 11. So we'll have
Okay.
two from the previous year,
Okay.
and we have. I mean, it's just great. I mean, um, I have a meeting with them tomorrow, and everything is set. This is going to be the first time we have an actual event where we can actually sit down and eat a little bit and socialize and hear some stories about the folks that came before us. Everybody talks about what they know about military basketball, um, how long they've been doing it or whatever. And even myself, I mean, I remember when I first started coaching, you know, um, I thought I was hot shit and I knew everything. Um, but I didn't, and it's been very humbling to hear some of the stories over the years from these guys that get inducted in the Hall of Fame. And, it's a trade-off, one of the things that we get is we get to hear these guys' stories and we get to see what it took to build, what we were doing to we get to see what these guys went through without the social media and everything that we
Mm-hmm.
have today. And then these guys get a chance to see the NBA, in its fullest, best form, with pure installation basketball teams coming out there and competing, um, representing their base, and they're just like, where was this at? Where was this at back when I was coming up? And I wish this was around back in the day. And it's just it's rewarding for me, man. I really do. It's really rewarding. I really feel like um we're not leaving these guys behind. So it's fun. So that is gonna be a moment. All the
Mm-hmm.
jackets are ordered. Joseph A. Bank did their thing. Some of these guys purchased their rings, their Hall of Fame rings, and um, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, but I heard one person had like 20 guests coming. I was like, oh my god.
Okay. That's a great. Oh, that's always that's a very tip to the cap to have people there to celebrate them and celebrate the others that are
Absolutely.
there. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Wooten, if you go check out the NBA website or even Facebook page, they have the seeds and stuff like that already coming out, which I guess you could say. But I don't know if Commissioner Myers would want to divulge that information where it could be seen in references how is it going to be set up, or the top two coming out of each pool, or what's the case?
So one of the most amazing things that has happened this year is Mike Myers and Angel Acevedo. We build the tournament, we build the NBA, we promote the brand, we do the marketing, we handle all the business stuff. And then Al Mayon and Jason LaFasciano kind of work the tournament and all the rules and bylaws and all that stuff. And so it's been real quiet in
Mm-hmm.
the NBA. We've had a lot of success because we've had not that we those things are like not important or whatever, but you know, if you ask me what the pools are, who's in the pools, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I really don't know who's in A, B, C, or D or
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, or what person goes to here. But if you ask me who our supporters are, what it took to try to promote the work that these guys are doing across the country, across the world, um, and then what we're doing next, and all those things, I can tell you that. I
Mm-hmm.
would just say play who's in front of you. Be worried about the teams in front of you. Don't take anyone for granted. Um, if you have a great team, if you're number one, um, go into the tournament, like you're an underdog. Go into the tournament like, like everyone's coming after you. And if you're a lower seed, I think Campbell is one of the lower seeds.
Yes, I was just to say,
Yeah,
every time you said the
play
number 10,
play like
Ooh.
play like a champion. Play like the
Mhm.
champions you are. Don't take anyone for granted. Come out there with a little chip on your shoulder. I mean, even if you do deserve to be at the bottom or whatever, it's like, I remember that really big time with Hood. We came in, we lost the Centrals tournament, and I remember calling Carl Little when I was like, um, hey man, we still gonna get an invite to San Antonio because we didn't, not only did we not finish or win the tournament, we didn't even make it to the Final Four. Like
Mm.
we weren't even playing on Sunday, and so that's like a first time that ever happened to me. But you know, um, we just go into everything humble, man. Don't give anyone any whiteboard material, because that's just no. I mean, you don't. I mean, you don't
Yes,
want to
I
see
get it.
anything. You don't want to publish anything or post anything that would
Hmm. That's
make
going to
somebody motivate people to whoop your ass. You don't want to do that.
quote unquote Dylan Brooks poke the bear.
Yeah, don't. I mean, I people would do that to me all the time, and I still wouldn't respond. I would just
Mm.
say, you know, I just say, hey, I keep it in the back of my mind, and then if we won, I just had. I mean, I knew, like I would know personally that we were better, but I never tried to go out on any social media or even do that. I mean, I'm pretty confident, but when it comes to stuff like this, like a tournament, man, you just go in there humble and just pray that somebody doesn't have a hot shooting game and you get upset,
Hmm.
or your guys perform. And so fortunately, I was able to come out on top a few times, but everybody else, man, for this is like the biggest event we've ever had. So like people are not just playing for like the trophy, man. You're playing to have your program recognized on CBS Sports Network. I mean, the two teams that win on Sunday, I mean, that's just going to be historic. They're going to be playing before, who knows, and we haven't even started hyping it. And then we're guaranteed to hype like the things that come afterward, after the event. So whoever wins the whole thing is going to be, historically in the first, volunteer sports program nationally televised, before a live, on an audience on prime time. And so that program deserves all the accolades that they receive.
Right.
Uh, and then we come
Definitely.
back and try to do it again next year, you know.
Run it back, of course. So, additionally, what we know is you have a couple of events that are going to highlight other individuals outside of military basketball. Can you talk to us a little about that
Uh, which events? Like afterward or?
before your games? The with the high schoolers.
Yeah. So it's open. It's an open 3-point contest, slam dunk contest, open to everybody. So
Okay, open everybody. Okay,
yeah. So
a
high
different.
schoolers show up. They show up. It's great. But it's a skills competition. So and again, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, but um, Pluto TV is going to run back the championship game, the high school skills event, the
Mhm.
Hall of Fame ceremony, the documentary that should come out this week, the NBA documentary. And then we're going to try and and then a post documentary is going to be done on like all the stuff at the tournament that's happening. Um, and then we're capturing it, but then like our partners are also doing some stuff to capture a lot of media stuff. So we just want to blanket, the world with what we're doing. But yeah, the skills competition is going to be dope. I mean, um, I'm looking forward to just seeing all the pictures and everything that comes out of this. The champagne celebration, that's one of the things that we do as classic. It's signature to us. The guys will have rings and t-shirts and hats. I mean, we're just we're just trying to do it big and do it as best we can.
Hmm. So, listen, I know a few people are commenting comments and they're looking for something particular. I'm not going to give them what they want exactly first. What's good? Good morning, Cal. How you doing there, Coach? I've been seeing all
What do
your,
they want?
you
Because
know,
some people's comments I can't see. You just keeping it real.
So they're asking, they're Buenos Dias, Senor. What's going on, Coach Cal? Of course, basically they want to have a conversation in reference to the Lakers. But first, of course, I think you got someone that comes out first. Last night, Boston Celtics and the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami
That's
Heat.
right. You got it right. The Miami Dolphins.
Miami Heat tapped in last night. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Um, Boston led by, it's very dismal. They had a few people. They had a couple of people in double figures, but none higher than 14 points. That would be Jason Tatum with 14 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, 12 points apiece from Grant Williams, Peyton Pritchard, and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 8 points apiece. Robert Williams III and Marcus Smart. Um, 9 points from Derek White, 5 points from Sam Hauser, 3 points from Muscula. Almost empty the bench. So with those, of course, it comes out to be 102. But for Miami Heat, led by Gabe Vincent of all people, 29 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 18 points for Caleb Martin, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 16 points from Jimmy Butler, 13 from Bam Adebayo, 10 points from Max Strus. Duncan Robinson off the bench. Where has he been? 22 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. Nikola Jovic and Amir Yurstevin, 2 points apiece. In-state game, blouses, 128, 102. Miami takes a commanding 3-0 lead. Commissioner Myers, did we see this coming? Well, I thought Miami would win. I just didn't think it would be them with a 3-0 lead. Is it surprising in your opinion? Oh, it's not. Mr. Commissioner Myers fell off. There you go. There he is. As I was saying, Commissioner Myers, is this astounding series lead in which Miami have, is it surprising to you, or was this expected?
This was suspected. And the bottom line is it doesn't matter. And it just goes to show you, it don't matter what level you are. Seeds don't matter when you get in the playoffs. That's just the bottom line. I mean, I heard what you were saying about the stat line, but we said this last year. Did we not say this last year that when the time you can quote Kobe Bryant all you want, but you're not Kobe. And so if Jason Tatum is putting up stat lines of 14 points on the road, that's when they need you the most. You're supposed to be the MVP. You're supposed to be getting, those types of accolades. And no disrespect to Boston. I mean, they're a great program, but like, how do you go home and drop 2 in the Garden? Like, that never happens. Like, you drop 2 in the Garden? What you expect? You think Miami's just going to come back to Miami and be like, oh, we're going to drop 2 in Miami? Hell no. They're 1 game away from going back to the finals. I mean, it just baffles me how today's generation of players, they think they can turn it on and turn it off. You can't do that. You either are about that life or you're not. And I'm not saying that he's not. I'm not saying Jason Tatum's not. I think there's something going on with that team, to where in the locker room, they're just not playing, to their potential. And you see that a lot of times in sports where a team's record is great, right? But they just haven't bonded in that locker room and they don't believe, they don't believe. And when that happens, you don't deserve to be there. I went to a Miami Heat game like a while back, and they lost. The Heat lost. And I came on your show maybe a couple days later, and I said, Jimmy Butler he should be considered for MVP. Everybody was like, oh, I think it's going to be this. I think it's going to be that. I said, nah. I said,
I was very cool about it. And I was like, nah, I said, Jimmy Butler is that guy, man. He's definitely deserves to be given MVP consideration. And everybody was like, ooh, even you, I think you and Bishop were like, ooh, I don't know. Cause it was all about Embiid
Embiid, Luca, and
and
Giannis.
Jokic,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And Giannis, right? But look, I mean, if you ask me who the MVP of this postseason is, it's
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler.
yeah.
Period.
He plays with a chip on his shoulder, but it's like controlled chaos for him.
But it's like a never. He's got a. He just doesn't run out of heart of energy,
Correct. That part.
right? And so, um, you ask someone, okay, who's better, Jason Tatum or Jimmy Butler, right? Who would you rather have, right? I don't want a guy who's going to turn it on when he feels like it, or
Mhm.
adversity is going to get him down, or you can't show if you can't show up at home. God help you when you're on the road. God help you when you're on the road. If you can, and again, the fourth quarter stats are the telling thing for him. Kobe Bryant was Mr. Fourth Quarter. Like if you're trying to tap into that inner Kobe, you got a long ways to go, man. You got to do more. You got to do better. That's just me. I feel like this series is over. Um, and I hate to say it, but the Lakers are in the same boat. All this LeBron James talk, and he's the GOAT, and he's the greatest of all time, and he's this and he's that. You're at home, man. You're at home. You
That
know,
definitely, I figured that, of course, going into the Lakers and aspect on the side of the spectrum, that was a deflating loss at home, especially when you dig like there hasn't been a complete blowout. I watched the last part of the this last game three, and I was like they were hanging on, then they'd take the lead, and then next I blinked and they were down by 10. I'm like, you got like 5 minutes left in the fourth. Like, what are you gonna do to come back? And it's just like they couldn't get by. I watched game two, and in my mind, I'm thinking, LeBron, why are I cringe? I literally cringe every time LeBron has the ball in close moments to where they're trying to take when he wants to swing a haymaker and he shoots behind the arc. I was like, why? You run the clock down just to take a ill-advised three? Like, why do you do this? Austin Reeves. Why is the ball not in Austin Reeves' hand? Like, at some point, I'll be thinking to myself, like, I get it. He's LeBron, but why is it not
no,
in the
I'm going to
player's
answer your
hand?
question. I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is because what made LeBron James so special when he was just a young guy coming into the league
Mm-hmm.
was he was 6'9", 6'10", coming at you at 230, 40 pounds, and you cannot stop him. He's too big, and he was getting a lot of transition points, a lot of fast break points, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his game didn't evolve like
Mm-hmm.
like Kobe, like Jordan, like KD. His back to the basket game, his post game is not there. When you get to be 38 years old, that is what you have to rely on. You
It's that
can't
other,
rely
yeah.
on you cannot rely on going to the hole full speed downhill all the time because your mind is going to say I can do this. But you saw how he just uh uh you know bobbled the ball, missed an open dunk, missed layups, people stealing the ball from him. You don't get the ball stolen from you if you're 6'9", 240, 250, and it's going into you in the post, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to. I mean, it just doesn't happen, and so his game has not evolved like Jordan. I mean, Jordan was doing the same thing after 91. Fadeaway jump shot, fall away jump shot. He could still do it, but he preserved it. Kobe Bryant, same thing. Degree of difficulty shots that kill teams. He's not able to. He cannot do that. That is why, for a lot of people, the GOAT conversation is debatable. It's not. He is not the undisputed GOAT. Right? He's a great player, but he's
Mm-hmm.
not undisputed. I don't care how many points you score. You get exposed when all you can do against the Denver Nuggets and there's nobody on the team that can guard you. There's no one on the Denver Nuggets team that can guard LeBron James, except if he goes in the post.
Mm-hmm.
He's ineffective. And that's just the bottom line. That's how I see it. Okay, so I mean, I don't know anything. I mean, I'm just a fan, and I love the Lakers, and I hope they get one win. But this looks like when the Mavericks swept them in 2011. You know, we got swept because we just weren't they were better than us.
And it's like crazy when you look at it. Like you got Bruce Brown for Denver, who is coming out to be the X factor when you look at it for Denver. Of course, he's hitting on Jamal Murray. He continues to get off, and then what you sit up to talk about, you would think that a game in which Jokic wasn't getting off that, and Jamal Murray was that, it would be victorious. It would be good. But of course, every person in which LA acquired after from Minnesota is at this point ill-effective. Beasley, Vanderbilt, and who would have thought Russell have basically did a disappearing act. Reeves and Ryu, like Coach Cal was talking about, has been awesome. AD has been consistent on defense. Has shown something. LeBron is getting his, but in my opinion, we can't rely on LeBron anymore. As in-state is like Coach Commissioner Myers just said, he's 38. Like the things in which LeBron used to do, he can't do anymore. It's
He ain't doing that no more, man.
Yeah,
He's just not. He's not in when LeBron was like 28, 30 years old, even when he was 34, LeBron could be in the half court set and just go past you and dunk on you, right? Well, people are like, you know what? I'm gonna get in your way and draw a charge. And if I get two of them, you're out the game. And so like it's like when is your game gonna going to evolve to where you're two dribbles pull up, and that's not it, and it's not his game. And I mean, he scored a lot of points on people, but by in the open set, but not in the half court. And that's the difference. When you get to the playoffs, I mean, unless you're Golden State, right? You're playing half court basketball. The Denver Nuggets, think about this. The Denver Nuggets are letting Jokic bring the ball up at the 1. Do something. I mean, you're down 3-0. Press him. I don't know. If I mean, he can dribble, but he ain't dribbling like that. Dribble. He's not Luka. I mean, they're letting him bring the ball up at like 7. Like, that is crazy.
Just to do a dribble handoff instead of get a pick and roll set. Like they like it at this point. It's like, and I wonder, do you think it comes down to Darvin Ham's inexperience, or is it just the fact of like, okay, we're gonna let LeBron do his thing and go from there? Like,
yes, because they're doing something that's not working.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, the first game, everybody was like, all right, calm down. And that's why Mike Malone was pissed. And I would be pissed too. And he he came out and said something about it. It's like, we've been good all year. What do you mean it's all about the Lakers? And instead of like, he was like, we're not just going to win game 2. We're going to come home and shock y'all at home. And the way they shocked us at home, man, golly.
They would not. It was like they were relentless. They would not let go of that lead, and they'd get it back and run it right back. And then what's funny is everyone was in foul trouble. You got KCP 4 fouls, Bruce Brown.
Jokic was in foul trouble.
Jokic five fouls. It was like, how are they still in the game? Attack, and we end up losing.
But the Lakers don't even have like it, the biggest issue though is they're not committed to the defensive end, and to let someone like Jamal Murray get 30 and a half, there's something wrong with you. You don't win playoff basketball if you don't play defense. Even Golden State for what it's worth, they played defense when it counted, when it mattered, and they had defensive minded people that stop people. But I mean, who's stopping Jamal Murray on the Lakers?
Evidently, nobody. They
Who's
keep on.
who's stopping Jokic on the Lakers? And so it's like I don't know, man. Like I said, I just think that it sucks. It's unfortunate. Is it Darvin Ham's inexperience? Probably, probably because if you're gonna look for 2 games, you're gonna let Jokic bring the ball up like that to do a dribble handoff, and he's gonna initiate your offense.
Coldest 2 men in the game right now. Goodness gracious.
I don't understand it. I mean,
Jamal
but no,
Murray,
you're gonna let
37.
him bring the ball up and initiate the offense, a center? Like, we're not talking like Kevin Durant.
I'm talking about talking about Jokic.
We're talking about slow ass Jokic bringing the ball up the court. Make him make a decision in the half. I mean, it's like, and he's bringing it up, Trey. He's bringing it up, and he's like, he's not even being abated by anybody. Like, just
Going to
it's just
getting to his spot.
he's just he's just dribbling to his spot, getting there, handing the ball off.
And then Murray
I mean,
working it
it's
and
just
knocking it out.
crazy.
It's ridiculous. Last game, of course, like Coach said, Commissioner Mike said, 37 points for Jamal Murray, 24 points for Jokic, 17 points for Kentavious Caldwell Pope, 15 points for Bruce Brown, 14 points from Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, 7 points, 5 points from Jeff Green, as well as his defensive efforts. They only had a 9-man rotation for that game. The Lakers on the opposite side of the spectrum, 3 players in double figures. Reeves with 23 points, Davis with 28 points, LeBron with 23 points, 2 points from Jared Vanderbilt, 13 points for Rui Hachimura, 9 points from Lenny Walker, D'Angelo Russell, 3 points, and then 2 points from Troy Brown.
Hey, when is LeBron's contract up?
Next year, at the end of next year. Because he gets an opportunity to play with his son. I think he puts him right before when he has a year to play with his son, potentially in the league. So he still has to, because he had this was his last year. He extended, so he got next year. 2 years. He still got 2 years.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. He said rookie coach. Yeah, Darvin Ham, he's passionate about what he's doing, but I mean, you look at film, man, and I mean, I don't know if they're even looking at film, but it's like I just don't see them. You make adjustments for stuff like that, you know. When Magic Johnson had his way with Michael Jordan in Game 1 in '91,
they made adjustments.
They made an adjustment, and it still didn't slow. It didn't slow Magic down to the point where he wasn't Magic Johnson, but they won the series because they put Pippen on him full court, and because MJ couldn't handle Magic, he could not. You can say whatever you want. Magic sitting out there throwing out 20 assists, throwing out dimes. But that's what you do when you want to win. If you're going to let Nikola Jokic bring the ball up full court and initiate the offense, when you have a 24-second shot clock and you don't do anything, you don't abate them, you don't trap them, you don't put someone who's got, a defender with wingspan, well, then you go down 3-0.
To pressure him, yeah, that's basically where they're at now. What do you say to your outlook on Russell not playing and showing up? Do we have the wrong Westbrook? I mean, do we have the wrong Russell in the building?
We do. He is who we thought he was. Hey, what did my man say in football? Yeah, they are who we thought they were.
They are who they thought
hey,
were.
he is who we thought he was. I don't hear anybody talking about Lonnie Walker, right? Mm-hmm. What happened to him, Mr. Fourth Quarter?
At this point, there's only one person. There were 2 players showing up, right? Rui and Reeves, and we're probably gonna lose both of them.
Yeah, Reeves gonna get a contract next year.
as he's deserved. Like he's the third best option on the team.
He might be the first. Nobody really wants. Hey, nobody. I'm being real. Wait,
That's why he can't get the ball. LeBron was like, "You ain't finna
I'm
take my shot."
I'm being real. So, but see, if you're a coach,
You
and you
reckon?
want to win, and you're a rookie, you don't care who's on the team. You go with the best guy,
Mm-hmm.
and you draw stuff up for the person that's going to get you wins. Because if you go to him and because Reeves showed that he's the one to get with in the Golden State series.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I mean, I hate it. You know, I got my Lakers stuff on. I got my Lakers, but it just don't feel right. You know, I felt the same way in 11 when they lost to the Mavs. I was upset. You know, I was like, man, this sucks. You know, they should have three-peated. You know, if Kobe had got that sixth ring, man, whole different conversation. But they
You know
just
what? We should have seen. We should have Commissioner Myers. We should have seen because the look after that 3-pointer that Jokic made and the look that AD gave, we should have knew it was over after that first game. We should have seen this was coming because even then, AD looked
no,
deflated.
no, 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 no.
You don't think so?
They thought the Lakers was like, all right, y'all got game one, you know, but you barely got it, right? So they felt like they understood who the Nuggets were, and they didn't understand that the Nuggets have been like they had a bad game. The Nuggets just didn't. They just had a bad game. They thought they could come back and maybe steal game two, and it wasn't happening. And so I just don't see. It's like their sense of urgency just went out the window.
Mr. Delaney, the coaches do not play the game. Players do. The coach call the plays, but the plays need to be the play coach, but on the clipboard. So I
don't think the
would
coach put Bron shooting threes on the clipboard. I don't
that
think
part.
that's what happened.
He can't be getting the he can't be getting his
Hey,
the green light.
look, I got a clipboard right here. I got a clipboard right here.
You're not even running that play.
My clipboard does not have Bron shooting threes
It's
at
like
any. No, that's not where I drew up.
Even if I was coaching, Ron be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead. No, Brown, chill, man. Don't do that, bro." Matter of fact, Austin, do not get Austin the ball. Get Austin
No,
the ball.
listen. Okay, on my clipboard, Austin Reeves, he can shoot anywhere on his clipboard. Listen, anywhere on his clipboard, he's good. We didn't draw that up for. We didn't draw that up. We didn't draw that up for Bron, man. And
But Darvin can't be cool with this. I get it. We understand. We get it. But he can't be cool with this. He cannot be cool with this. When LeBron sit up and do that look, it's like, oh no, Bron, no. And he hit 2 in a row starting out. He didn't sit up but he was 1 for 20 before he hit that one. Like, what are you doing, LeBron?
So Darvin Ham got a contract. LeBron James got a contract.
I'm still with you, Coach Wayne. We still rocking. I'm just saying.
Darvin Ham is playing for his NBA future, right? He's coaching for his NBA future, and if it's sometimes it's like that in the huddle, and that's where you have to establish, hey, we're going to do this, or you can sit down. Now, do you sit down the NBA's all-time leading scorer? No, you have that's interpersonal. You're going to have that discussion. But if you're just going to let LeBron James go out there and go 1 for 15 or 2 for 17 or however many just threes he decides to shoot up, that's a reflection on you. That's a reflection on your coaching style. If you can't bring him in, then I mean, I don't know. And LeBron James leaves what, next year, or he's up for next year.
Yeah,
Ty Lue would check him. I would believe Ty Lue would check him. Ty Lue would check him. But
he does it at the most inopportune times. And I know everyone else be thinking like, oh man, no. But I mean, You gotta live and die with it, I guess. He's been that's what it is. But he's not. It's like it's key. And you know, what I'm saying the mental aspect of it comes in. But you
They're
start
up.
putting
They're up one, and he takes a three.
that part. Like, what are you
Right,
doing?
and then the Nuggets come down and hit a three, and now you're down two. It's just like the I'm gonna say something that's controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Possession basketball is a lost art,
Mm.
and not coaches and players in today's game. They do not understand the value of possession basketball. You know, you can play the scenario in your head, and I do it all the time. But it's all about the chances you get to take control of the game. If I'm up 10 points, I'm up three possessions, four possessions. That's a four possession basketball game. If I'm up to, that means I got to screw up four of my possessions, and you got to get all yours right five times to get the lead, right?
Correct.
And so it's about opportunity. And when you're in a close game, which I've been in quite a few, like I'm looking for a mistake, or I'm looking for you to give me a chance. And I don't, if your players don't understand possession basketball, um, then they're hurting themselves. They can cost you wins. Even like Steph Curry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Poole, right? I mean, what you doing down by one? You just have to take a 3-point shot. You done made the most craziest floaters and everything that I've seen in the series, but you have to take a 3-point shot. Come on, man. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, people in this game, they live and die by the three.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those guys, when they take ill-advised, ridiculous, dumb shots up by one against a team that's been number one all year,
They haven't
they're gonna
relented
make you
since
pay.
they got it. Yeah.
They're gonna make you pay.
And I think where it was fool's gold and people didn't realize because basically Jamal Murray has picked off where he left off at when he after the Lakers knocked them out 3 years ago, um, and when they swept them, gentlemen swept them 4-1. Now you know, what I'm saying Jamal Murray, as advertised, can't be stopped. Can't you know, what I'm saying? You can't, so you ain't can slow
No,
down one, and it's like you can't if you can't stop Murray. You can't. You got to slow down Jokic. They slowed down Jokic. It wasn't effective. Murray was still going off. Contavious Caldwell Pope still going off. Um, and then everyone else. So we haven't even seen Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. Really. So it's like it's so much more to come. We still have, and then it's the conversation, Commissioner Myers, Mo Bamba, the expectancy of having Mo Bamba to be able to, I guess, to relieve AD, or maybe they go with a twin tower lineup. I don't know at this point. What do you see as the big thing with Mo Bamba being able to finally grace the court again? Do you think it would help? Is it going to save off the inevitable?
no. When you get a guy, I mean, I've seen guys come off the bench, um, but I don't see, I don't see him. Uh, you know, I've been a fan of the Lakers for years, man, since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And when they lose, it hurts and it sucks, and I hate to see it, man. But every time they've lost, it's always been like there's been a reason for it. This is the first time that one of the few times, excuse me, one of the few times I've seen the Lakers on the verge of elimination because it's self-inflicted,
Correct.
right? It's a self-inflicted wound, right? And you know, look when the Pistons swept the Lakers in the '80s, right? In '89, swept them, right? Everybody's like, "Oh man, the Lakers suck. We whooped their ass. The Pistons beat their ass." No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Magic Johnson injured his hamstring, and Byron Scott broke his ankle. Okay, you look at the playoffs before then; they swept everybody and got swept.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the injury bug, right? So you can take it there, right? In 2011, they just quit. It was the same situation. It was they had nothing for the Dallas Mavericks. They had nothing for the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks were a complete team, and the Lakers were one-dimensional. They had Kobe Bryant. They had Andrew Bynum, who was, injury plagued, and Pau Gasol, who was playing soft. Okay. So, and they got beat. They got swept, right? I don't want to talk about the bubble because I don't, that to me isn't real. It counts, right? Is an asterisk by the bubble championship. So you get to this game, and it's disappointing, right? I picked the Lakers to go to the Western Conference Finals.
I do too.
I said it. I didn't pick them to win the NBA Finals.
That's what I did, and it's looking very dismal right now.
I would never do that, because in order to win the NBA Finals, you're going to have to be able to play playoff basketball, and they don't have anybody on that team except AD that can play half court playoff basketball. And that's if he's not, Mr. Glass, rolling around and getting hurt. Who on the Lakers, besides AD, can you throw the ball in the paint and they're going to get you buckets? 20 and 10.
Nah, it's just
Who?
AD.
Who? You got to draw plays up for Austin Reeves.
Correct.
You got to get in the ball. I mean, he's effective. Austin Reeves is going to be a great basketball player. Don't get me wrong. Wichita State.
Mm-hmm.
Put that out there. But who on the Lakers team can you give the ball to in the paint or on the block, and they're going to get you buckets? I'll wait.
Yeah, it's just AD, and everybody knows that. And then the fact of we continue to lack the ability to bring shooters in. Every team we play has shooters. Why is it like shooters are abundance in some way, form, or fashion, but the Lakers don't get them for whatever reason? And when we look back in the day, remember we had Glenn Rice. We've had shooters in the past. Now, currently,
we had Glenn Rice. We had Mitch Richmond. We had Brian Shaw. We had Robert Ory. Hell, we had Nick Van Exel. We had Byron Scott. We had Michael Cooper. It goes on and on and on. We had Derek Fisher.
Yes. Now it's like, I don't know. It's dismal. I mean, we have a few, but it's like, I keep on thinking.
We had Devin George. We had dudes that could just straight up, if you left them open, they would knock down a shot. Who knocking down a shot on the Lakers right now? Besides Austin Reeves.
And they keep shooting. That's the thing about it. After D'Angelo Russell shot the 3-pointer. Of course, it missed. It tipped out to Austin Reeves. I'm thinking, okay, nice hands. But of course, D'Angelo Russell was in the corner, wide open. So what does he do? He shoots it again. Another miss. And now Denver off to the races. I was like, come on, man, stop. Just stop. You know what I mean? I know what the old bondage is. Shooters are going to shoot, or shooters have to keep shooting. But our shooters are people like LeBron James.
Shooters make shots. That's just the bottom line. I'm not trying to see anybody fill up the stat line with your attempts. I need you to, shooters make shots. I mean, they don't have any. They are. See, everybody's like, oh, well, you're one piece away from like winning the NBA champ. The Lakers are 3 pieces away.
3 pieces?
They need 3 pieces, right? They need a healthy AD. Mm-hmm. They need a LeBron James with a post game, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to see the videos of you going down there working with Olajuwon on your post game, and then we don't see it in the game. It doesn't make any sense, right? So they need that, and then they need role players that can defend and shoot the ball.
3-and-D guys.
So,
or these people that's going to show up when we need them the most. You got a bench full.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, I got a Laker room. I'm a Laker fan. I love the Lakers. I know the history. I mean, the Lakers. I can tell you about the Lakers all the way back to when I was just a kid, man. And this is bad.
And
It's
so,
bad. It's just
looking at Luna's comment, do you think the Nuggets lose any more this year? Is this a Nuggets championship?
when that boy Jimmy Butler gets to comes to town,
Jimmy versus
they gon'
Jamal.
they Jimmy freaking Butler is gonna have that's gonna be a series. So the Heat are gonna come to. I mean, because we can talk about the Lakers coming back from 3-0, but they're not. Okay. So let's just be real. I mean, I
Realistic.
hate to burst anybody's bubble out there, but you don't, only one team in team sports has come back from 3-0. Like in all team sports. And it wasn't even basketball. You got to go back to the Boston Red Sox versus the New York Yankees. That's the only team that's ever come back from 3-0 in a series. So, um, but I think you know, I think when Jimmy Butler comes to they're going to have a problem with him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because he's going to have to guard. If they put Murray on him, he's going to eat his lunch, and that's just between me and you. He's just going to eat his lunch. That's just Butler's going to be a problem, but overall, Denver has the talent, and they've been playing well all year. And
So when you're looking at
yeah,
this with
yeah,
Coach
yeah.
Richardson,
Jokic, there's no, and then
oh yeah,
the Heat have to guard Jokic, and Jokic is going to have there could be records set in that
mm,
finals.
so looking at what Coach Richardson was saying, so I'm looking at it and I'm thinking of it. Is it that much? Is it a bad matchup for DeAndre Russell in this game? Is that what we're looking at? Hence the reason why he's just been on a whole disappearing act.
No, he's absolutely right.
Okay.
That Rich is right, man. I hate to say it because but he's right. I mean, um, the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors was a great matchup, and the Lakers just happened to win, right?
Mm,
They just happened to win.
that's
They got
that's a
some.
strong that's a strong word.
They just
Just
happened.
happened to win.
No,
That's a
because
strong
listen,
statement.
listen. If Curry hits,
That part. True. True.
if he hits a couple of those shots, the Lakers
Pressure.
they're not even here. Okay, they're not even here. But um, but Golden State ran into the same thing that the Lakers. They just played stupid basketball, right? I think I even said that publicly. But what happened was, but this series, and everybody said it when the Lakers were playing the Warriors. They were like, "You're not going to be able to do all this stuff that you're doing against the Nuggets," and we all knew it. I mean, like, what y'all expected AD to come in and have like a 50-point, 50 piece against. I mean, Jokic is a two-time MVP, man. That guy is good. I don't know. I just the thing that baffles me is it's not even the Russell comment, right? What baffles me is they letting this 7-foot dude come up the floor and initiate their offense. That doesn't happen in basketball. A
The slowest,
seven-footer,
the slowest man on the court.
and he's slow. It's almost like you playing 2K with somebody online, and like the internet is slow, right? And you're waiting for the thing to come across the screen and be like, "You're a connection," and you need to help your connect because he's coming up so slow. But I think, but no, the matchups in this series are being exploited by the Denver Nuggets. The Lakers have some matchups.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers have some matchups that they can exploit.
What's good, Katrina?
Um,
Glad to have you on the formation
but
Business today.
I don't see it. What's going on? That's Miss NBA right there.
Yes.
That's Miss NBA. Miss NBA, number one fan. Got your badge ready. Got it. I got it for you. I got her badge.
Bruce Brown, KCP, defend Jimmy. So we put. Well, I guess so. That's Jimmy gonna cook them. It's gonna, like you say, if that becomes a series where it looks like it's going right now, it's going to be a good series. I thought to myself, like, am I going to continue to watch after the LA if LA gets bounced? And I will, especially when you look at that. Initially I had the idea that the Western Conference is going to produce the NBA
Man, I
champion.
said it. I'm a Laker fan. I said it publicly. I'm a Laker fan. Denver is the better team. They're a better team. You just can't I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying they're a better team, man.
It's sad that $30 million player doesn't match up well versus another guard maybe smaller than him.
Hey.
Something in their head.
I mean, who's guarding LeBron? Who's guarding him?
Who is guarding LeBron? Is it Gordon? Is that who's guarding him? I don't know who's guarding LeBron at this point.
Hey, somebody said he guarding himself. No, I'm playing. I'm joking, man. LeBron's a great player, man. He's a great player. I just feel like I just don't see.
He's no longer immortal. He's no longer a mere demigod.
Man,
or like
listen,
that. He's immortal
now. No. I picked up on LeBron's post game stuff when he was in Miami and in Cleveland.
And watching him play.
Yeah, he does not have a post game. And that's nobody wants to say it, but he doesn't. Now you have your LeBron, your lovers that say, "Hey, yeah, he can do everything. He's the greatest of all time." Blah blah blah. But show me his post. He does not have a post game.
Always been downhill.
Everything's downhill. I mean, if you look at his shot, it's unorthodox. It's just not. It's not clean. It's falling away. It's fading away. And so those threes that he's shooting, it's like maybe it goes in, maybe it doesn't. You know, so when he's hitting, it's great. But when he's 1 for 20, Laker fans are just, I have no more hair left.
So, Christian, when you look at this, what do you think about do you think it's a guarantee, without a doubt, Victor Wembanyama goes to San Antonio? Are they passing up on him to get what they might see as? Matter of fact, do you think Victor is he? I mean, we hear the conversation that he's the greatest prospect ever. Are you in agreement with that? And does he go well going to San Antonio?
Listen, there was another guy that we talked about that was supposed to be great. Mm-hmm. And he was supposed to be playing for the Oklahoma City Thunder right now. Mm-hmm. Okay. He came down. He didn't have a lot of weight on him, didn't listen, and started playing in the NBA in the summer league stuff. And nobody even knows. I forgot his name. I forgot his name. Now, am I saying that this guy's the truth though? I mean, he's really good. He comes highly recommended. I've seen his play. But do I think the San Antonio Spurs are going to pass on him? No, absolutely not. Because San Antonio hasn't been relevant in 4 or 5 years, right? So he's the greatest thing to happen in South Texas. And so, as someone who's been a resident and lived in Texas for over 30 years, yeah, he's got a lot of shoes to fill. He's going to be depending on Greg Popovich's expertise to help him, to get him into the league. But how long is Greg Popovich going to be around doing it? And so, do they pass on him? Absolutely not. Not a chance. You pass on him, that's like Portland passing on freaking Michael Jordan.
And I was about to ask a question. You're the GM in San Antonio. He's not necessarily what y'all need. It's others: Darius Miles, Scoot Henderson, a couple other Thompson twins. One of them. Are you standing in that gap and it's like, no, I'm gonna pass on what I think you are doing? Are you going with what your team needs, or are you going with the best available?
You go with the. So first of all, in the NBA, you got to put people in the seats.
Okay.
You got to put
Business
people in the
aspect of it.
seats. Ain't nobody trying to come see the San Antonio Spurs continue to go 20-60 or however the 22-60 or however you know, um, and he don't have no weight on him. When he puts some weight on him and he's able to like go, he's gonna be a problem. You don't pass on, but you're not gonna pass on that guy. That guy's an
Can't pass on him.
international sensation. You pass on him, you might get fired. You the GM.
Just waiting for the season to end. To be like, we had what? How many games? We only won 2 games more than we did last year, and we got this. Victor Wembanyama is doing this. So
My thoughts are the Spurs are going to build around him. They're going to put players around him. So they're probably working out contracts and stuff like that over the next 2 years on who they can put around him.
Coach Cal.
But yeah, I agree, Coach. The best thing that guy can do is just be himself, come in the league and do whatever he did in Europe and whatever he was doing overseas, do that over here. Don't listen to nobody.
Is that possible? Do you think that's possible, Commissioner Mines?
To do what?
To have that same type of impact in the league with everyone, the 400, even though, what you're going to talk about in a second, even though we had, who was that? DeMar DeRozan and Paul George were on the Up in Smoke, in which they talked about there's 450 players in the NBA, and out of all 450, about 100 of them are trash. He's like, it's some trash dudes. DeMar DeRozan said it's some trash dudes in the NBA. He's like basically based on the fact that they don't hone their craft. So do you think?
I don't believe that.
Okay. No.
And here's what I'll say.
Okay.
They're trash. The NBA's trash. You take it and put it in the CBA or overseas in the KBL or in Europe, and they're like freaking Tiffany cufflinks. Okay. You put them in the Military Basketball Association and they're the MVP of the league. Okay. So the bottom line is that those are elite players calling non-elite players at that level trash. Okay. The game is the game, right? There's levels to it, right? So I'll never say someone is trash unless I really believe that they, have no value to put on the floor with 4 other guys. But and that might not even be based on basketball. I might just say you're trash because you have a shitty attitude. I would never say, someone's talent level is trash. But that being said, that guy's not trash. Okay. That dude is the real deal, right? There's a reason why that city is energetic right now about him coming there or potentially coming there. And if they're stupid and they try something and they draft it or trade him away to another team, I mean, then continue to suck. That's what I'll tell you. It's just like when back in the day, a coach called me and asked me about a military basketball player. And I said, this guy can do this, and this. He's an instant impact on your team. Period. He's an instant impact. I won't name any names because this is a show.
Track.
And he didn't pick him. And the results, I watched the results, and what happened is exactly what happened. And so, you can't let your pride get in the way of talent. You have to have interpersonal skills that, try to make relationships work where you can. And then if you can't, then, then you get out of the way. You let somebody else come in who can, get guys to play at a higher level, but I don't think that, I definitely don't think that the San Antonio Spurs are going to pass on this guy because he's really good. He's pretty good.
So just to make sure to clarify, DeMar DeRozan's exact comment was, "They got a lot of sorry MFers in our league who don't love basketball. Entitled guys come in thinking they should be playing because their homeboy said they was nice." So this basically came from the statement in which LeBron James said that Bronny is better than some of the NBA. So of course, like I said, Paul George was over with him. He said it's a good 450 of us, and it's about a good 75 to 100 that stink. So those were the comments exactly on what it was. So, but as Commissioner Myers just said, most likely Victor isn't going to be one of those ones that we should talk about. Of course, everyone continues to say the same thing, which they said he needs to get the weight up. Commissioner Myers stated, allow him to do what it is that he has to do, and let all that come naturally, so that we don't. It's not too much put on. 7'4". We've had a few 7'4" guys. 7-foot guys or above that's been in the league, and there's not too many of them that are sitting around. It's very skillful, so it's going to all come out and see how that goes. Coach Cal, a lot of great players will call a role player trash because he may not have offensive talent, that he's doing all the dirty work playing defense. And this way of thinking of is why Pat Beverly can earn a mark in this league. Too many guys worried about scoring.
That's a true statement. And people say to me, is Draymond Green a Hall of Fame player? I say he is.
Okay.
I say he is a Hall of Fame player. Everybody's like, oh no, he's not. The Golden State Warriors get no championships if they don't have Draymond Green on the team. Period. They don't. They don't win not one. They don't win one. I don't care with KD, without KD, however many wins, they're not going to win one championship without Draymond Green. You know, the guy in an elimination game is going to give you a triple double, right? I mean, or in the championship game in the finals last year, he gives you a triple double. You can get all the antics and say all that, but you can't call him trash. You can't say, because he doesn't score, he's not this and that. People screamed and talked about Kwame Brown was a wasted draft pick and he was the biggest draft bust. The dude played 12 years in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Kwame Brown played 12 years in the league. Like,
put up numbers that wasn't that bad.
and his numbers, like, you go out, go get someone from our league, right? And say, all right, go out there and get me 5 rebounds. In the NBA,
mm-hmm.
right? There are college guys, D1, that can't do that. Because when you go to the NBA, that's the best basketball league in the world. When they put 5 players on the floor, those 5 players on the floor are the top, they're in the top 100 players, gifted players in the world, right? So what do you talk? What would you? I don't to try. Go get 5 rebounds, just 5, just 5.
Brown,
you would struggle to get near
games.
1.
Kwame Brown, 600 games, 6.6 points, 5.5 rebounds, 0.9 assists career, 607 games.
Yeah, and this guy's better than Kwame Brown. Then you look at someone like DeMar DeRozan who says that, right? Which, I mean, I don't know the context of what you said it, but then you say, okay, well, you like Kobe Bryant too. You're a Kobe Bryant disciple, right? You love Kobe Bryant, right? Kobe Bryant got it done. Okay, Kobe Bryant got it done. When you were with Toronto, you were supposed to get it done. Did you get it? Did you get it? Hey, what did Kobe Bryant say? Job finished. Job finished. Right? So before we start talking about who's trash and who's not trash, I mean, let's take a real look at, like, okay, how are you? What level are you being evaluated against? DeMar DeRozan is supposed to go to San Antonio and win a ring. You got one of the greatest coaches of all time. You're supposed to go to San Antonio and win a ring. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's just levels to it. I don't think people should be able to, like, say, when you make statements like that, you just kind of, You just make the game harder. I mean, it's just hating on a guy. The guy isn't even in the U.S. yet, man. I mean, he just, let him come out. Let him learn himself and have his debut. Just like LeBron. I mean, they're hyping him up like LeBron when LeBron came in the league, and they think he's that good. But one injury could shatter that.
Mm-hmm. You say Kawhi when they came in, got it done, head to head spot. Results
Yeah,
speak for themselves.
exactly, exactly. Right. DeMar DeRozan for years was in Toronto, like leading them. Right, couldn't get it done. Kawhi came in, got it done. Got it done against KD. Got it done against the
Jazz.
Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I don't feel like I feel like we gotta wait and see with Victor. But it's possible. Definitely
So
possible.
So I had a question. It was via the Clutch Sports, in which I had put up on the Instagram, Facebook page, for the most part. So it's probably a move point at this point. But let's say out of the four teams that are left, being Boston, Miami, L.A., and Denver, and they were able to pull in a player from each team that they defeated. Right? If that was possible, I got four teams here with two additions. Just let me know, who do you think would end up being a champion if this was the structure of the teams? Of course, for the Lakers, them beating the Memphis as well as Golden State. So let's say LeBron, Austin Reeves, LeBron, AD, and you add Jared Jackson Jr. and Steph Curry. For the Nuggets, they beat Phoenix and they beat Minnesota. So they go and they add Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant with the starting four, with the to their starting lineup, that being Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Nikola Jokic. For the Boston Celtics, they knocked off Philly as well as the Hawks. So they add Trey Young and Joel Embiid to Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, and Marcus Smart. And last but not least, the Miami Heat, who got rid of the New York Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks, which means Lowry, Bam, Jimmy freaking Butler, get Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jalen Robinson. Who would you put out there as end up walking away with the championship between those four teams with those additions?
Denver.
Denver, really?
Yeah, remember back in the summer we were talking about where was KD gonna go, right?
Okay, yes, yes.
And I said if KD ever went to Denver,
Mm.
that would be a problem. That would be a problem because um, now you don't have Jokic bringing the ball up like a clown. You have KD bringing the ball up, right?
Okay.
You're not gonna. He can't. KD has a handle, so you're not gonna just you know um, you're not stealing the ball from KD. You just got to leave him alone. Now you're really able to kill with with Jokic on the block, and then Jokic is still able to create off the dribble. But then you have the shooting, the post game. You know, KD. He showed a little bit of glimpse of what he could do in the Denver series. It's
Mm-hmm.
just he came in mid season with the Suns, and so um, that that that's still trying to develop. Right, he's going to have an entire offseason with the Suns, hopefully, but the biggest thing that I think is telling with what you just said is athletes now, NBA players, they are they are uh, they're structuring their contracts like that.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Commissioner Myers, you had a comment. I can't remember how long ago it was, but you did have a comment when you seemed a little perturbed by the structure when we just talked about the structure of how players nowadays in the NBA are looking to, instead of compete, they go and they see who. Oh, that's what it was. Based off of potentially James Harden wants to go play in Phoenix. potentially, taking a look at potentially him potentially going to Phoenix to play. Uh, what fueled that to where you was like, why is this the norm now? Is it just saying being an old school a savant of that era where you you go in with who you got and you all compete, or was it just the same for putting more power in Phoenix to be a threat to the Lakers?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I just wish the mentality would change.
So it's a
You
mix
know,
of because it's just the
I
mentality
wish
now.
people would, um, they would go to their teams and be loyal to their teams until they just financially or business wise they couldn't do it anymore. I mean, you look at a guy like Reggie Miller who played in a small market.
Hmm.
Um,
This
and
whole career.
he played his whole career there. And he tried, and management tried. Right, it's not his fault that you know at his best opportunity in '98 he goes up against Michael Jordan in the Last Dance Chicago Bulls, right? Or
Kobe.
that
He goes against.
that they play the Lakers and they take the Lakers to a game 7 or game 6 or whatever
Okay.
in 2000. So but Reggie Miller stayed playing with the Indianapolis Pacers. And so it I don't know what happened, man. It's like this AAU type mentality took hold of players in the NBA, and now their contracts are structured to where, like, if my shit don't work out in 2 years,
I could bounce.
I need to go change my situation.
Hmm.
And oh, by the way, I want to load manage. I only want to play 60 games, 55, 60 max, and and give me $30 million a year. And oh, by the way, if I don't win, I don't win. Like
I'm
I
gonna, I'm gonna
like
opt out
yeah, I'm gonna opt out. Oh, and I can opt out,
and get paid
I'll sign
more.
a 3-year contract and opt out in year 2,
Uh huh.
and then I can go play for my buddy in wherever. That mentality, that's bad for sports.
Hmm.
It's bad for sports. You don't see, and this is the thing, you never saw Bird trying to go play with Magic. Can you imagine if Bird played with Magic? And I said it on this show. If Bird, Magic teamed up and played on the same team, they would win about 8 titles,
Hmm.
six to eight. Had they teamed up after 1984, like if Magic said, you know what, I'm gonna go to Boston and I'm gonna go play with the Celtics because I just lost to the Celtics in the '84 finals. I'm gonna go play with Larry and Parrish. They would have won about from '84 until '91. They would have won NBA championships
Hmm.
without. And then Magic would be his assist record. It would be out of reach. It would be untouchable. It'd be untouchable because he finished the league as the all time in assists, but Stockton wouldn't be able to touch it because I mean he's passing to Larry Bird,
Correct.
you know. So and oh, by the way, they picked up D Brown. D Brown probably would have been a better player. I mean, there's just so many things that you can look at if that type of mentality had taken place um, in the '80s, but it didn't. People were like, "Nah, we lost to you this year. All right, well, we'll be back next year." And in '85, that's exactly what Magic Johnson did.
Hmm.
Right? Came back, beat the Celtics. So it's you gotta. There has to be some type of loyalty when it comes to programs, and I don't say that with just the NBA. I say that with everything, especially
Everything.
in military basketball. Right? Right? Like I'm proud of the base that if I'm at a base, if I was at Hood, I'm proud of my base. I'm glad. I want to if I you know Cal, I know Cal's on here watching. When Lackland came here and got us and came to Hood and got us, man, I was like, man, I I got to win one in San Antonio,
Hmm.
right? And that's hard to do. That was extremely hard to do because Cal can tell you about the table. Cal can tell you about the officials, and sometimes the officials didn't even like Cal, and they didn't even like Lackland. So that was tough. But when you look at it, you're like, man, like I just wanted to beat. I knew who all Cal's players were.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew who they were, and I was like, you got to watch out for this guy. You got to watch out for that guy. And he knew who our players were, and you develop that, and it's a challenge, and there's a respect for there's a camaraderie there. If Cal had a guy show up on his team that I didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
but he brought that person in just for whatever, and it was like a 2-year, like he like just like with the NBA, you go, I want to play with my buddy. I don't know. I just it would take away from me. That rivalry that we had, it wouldn't have meant as much as it did. Like Artist Gandy, Tebow, Snow, Lon. I knew who all his players were,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it just sucked that if I had seen someone else and they knew us, it just wouldn't have been the same. And so today, it's like, shit, man. KD done played for like 5 teams. KD is synonymous with who? Who is he? What team is he synonymous with? You know what I'm saying? Like who? I mean, who is he synonymous with? Like, who do you?
That's tough because, like you said, and I sit up and think about that. It's like KD. We just sit up and talk about as I'm looking at the list, and it's like we would assume that KD is a lock for the Hall of Fame. But why is these players that are locked for the Hall of Fame? Why are they the players that have so many teams that's under their belt? KD, like you say, Oklahoma City, Golden State, Phoenix, and the Nets. And he's only been victorious with one of those 4 teams. So, yeah, who do you when he gets ready to walk in the Hall of Fame? Who is he gonna?
Oh, he's going to the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, true.
But for what team?
Yeah, that part.
I mean, how many places in the NBA are you going to have your jersey retired? I mean, it's just crazy. Like you're like, and there's no reason for it. Like, why?
Does that diminish your legacy in your opinion?
Think about this.
Okay.
The Thunder had Harden,
Mm-hmm.
KD.
Mm-hmm.
They had Russell Westbrook,
Mm-hmm.
right? They had a squad. They were in the finals the very next year. As soon as they got beat by the Lakers, they had their time in the sun. They had their opportunity to play in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
You lost. They were a pure team too.
Correct.
All those guys were drafted in OKC against the LeBron stack team, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, they got some guys. I mean, OKC is making moves. You can see that they're making moves. They're about to. They'll be back.
They're consistent with what they do, especially when it comes to the draft.
Yeah, they're making. But I think about it. OKC was the purest team. They were like the Golden State Warriors.
Correct. Yes.
They were all drafted, and then all of a sudden, people start growing a brain, right? Harden decides he wants to go someplace.
Mm-hmm.
So they lose Harden, but they still have Russell and KD, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same, and I don't know who's responsible for it, but this whole mentality of I'll go someplace to, if I can't get my shit together, I'll go someplace and try and I need a parachute. I need a way to get out of here and go do something else. And people's contracts are being written that way, and I just don't think it's right. I don't think it's good for the game. That's just me.
That part, I could see your point in that. So Cal just said something, right, Coach? And I would like to know your take on it. The money market, right? The market, large market, small market. Is that? Do you think that holds really holds any weight, especially when you look at when the
It
player goes
does.
to?
It
Okay, it does.
does.
Okay.
It does. I mean, if you tell me that I'm getting drafted to Oklahoma City,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to be able to I'm going to be in Oklahoma City, right? What am I doing in Oklahoma City? Now, Oklahoma City's nice. It's great. They're building up stuff out there. Um, it's really dope. Hold on a second.
Uh huh. So, Coach Cal, I see what you're saying. You say should be building up down to OKC over time to improve the nightlife and livability for a hooper, a millionaire hooper. Uh, and is that necessary, Coach Cal? Is that saying is that what it comes down to be like Commissioner Myers was just saying they have it? OKC is a nice area. And he said basically it does make a difference what the market is or what your livability is in the market as a
Oh,
upcoming
OKC
player.
is dope, man.
Uh huh.
OKC is hype. It's dope. They got a great downtown area. I mean, shoot, our All-Star game is going to be there, so I mean, I got no complaints. Um, and they've been gracious enough to let us use their facility, their conference room. I mean, OKC is not a that's not as bad as say
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. That's tough. I mean, they got pictures of Kareem getting off the plane going to the Bucks when he first got drafted. That's
Mm-hmm.
tough. Playing in Milwaukee, that's a tough spot to play in. There's some other small market spots, that are pretty tough, but OKC is not as bad as it once was thought of. I mean, remember that's the old Supersonics team.
Mm-hmm.
So the
From Seattle,
Supersonics got
another
sold to
small
Oklahoma
market.
City,
Mm-hmm.
and they have. I mean, Cal's right. They're still building. As we speak, they are building stuff up around OKC. It's OKC. It's Oklahoma. I'll tell you what else. Is a tough place to play. Utah.
I could see it. Yeah.
Utah. There's a lot of people. I mean, you ask Donovan Mitchell about Utah. That's a tough
Mm-hmm.
spot to play in, man. But so I would say this: if you get drafted at a place like Utah or OKC, then I can understand, hey, you know what? This is what I had to do to get to the NBA, structure my contract so that if things don't work out or my family situation, they don't like this environment,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, then, then I need to get out of here. I like the city life better.
Mm.
Um, it is the
Does
Bible
that
Belt.
does that hold the same for, let's say, Toronto, a whole country, in the essence? Do you think that's the same moniker of the small market, because it's secluded and kind of reserved in the area, or do you think that would?
Toronto?
Yes, Toronto,
Toronto is
Canada.
a city, brother.
Yeah, well, I'm saying the Canada. They're the only team in Canada. Is what I'm saying. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, but I mean, Toronto. I mean, shit,
Oh, okay.
I
You
mean,
saying I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying now.
you
So
tell me I got drafted by the by
you
the
far
Raptors. I
with.
mean, hey,
Okay, I get what you're saying. I'll pick what you're saying. Cause I've never been up there, but I pick up what you're saying now. So
I mean,
okay.
that's not too far from everything. I mean, you got, I mean, the Great Lakes. I mean, Toronto's a city, like a city.
Okay, I pick up what
It's
you're
not
saying.
far from NY. I
It's
mean,
not
you
a small
got
market as the one
Detroit.
you're
No,
talking
that's
about.
not a small market. Toronto's
Okay.
a city. Um, but like, Charlotte, that's a small that it's
That's the one
but
smaller.
it's but there Charlotte is growing, you know. Um, I don't know, man. Memphis, right?
Yes, correct. That is one.
I mean, that's the scene of John Wick 5, right? They about to film John Wick 5.
And this man always talk about. He's always trying to throw Carolina in there. Yes, Charlotte is growing. Listen,
No, Charlotte is growing, man. Charlotte's growing, but Memphis is a small market. And so like the stuff that happened with John Morant,
mm-hmm.
it's like you're hurting us. You're already a small market. You're already, Memphis is, it's known for a lot of things that happen. So it's just, if you tell me I got drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, I want a 2-year deal. That's just me. If I'm telling you, I want
with the player option for the second year.
Yes, the player option. Yep. So just, fine, no problem. I want a 2-year deal. If you tell me that I got drafted and I go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, if management takes me to OKC, I see everything around. They got some nice housing areas out there. Now I'll take 3 years in Oklahoma City.
Okay,
I would. San Antonio, that's a max. I'm definitely getting. I'm there for till my contract runs out.
Okay.
LA, that's no question. New York, no question. Orlando, no question. Indianapolis, I want a 2-year deal. Milwaukee, I want a 2-year deal. Utah. That's just me. As if I have my way, that's what I would say. Phoenix, I'm there for the whole time, the max. Give me the max. Phoenix, yes.
What would you think is the time frame before we get a franchise in, say, Las Vegas?
Las Vegas?
Yeah, you think it's a possibility?
I think Las Vegas works. I just don't. I don't associate basketball with Las Vegas.
Okay.
Just like I still can't believe they have a football team, but it'll take some time to get used to. It's not a small market. They got everything there, but it's just, the gambling and casinos run everything. I think Austin should get a team. Austin, Texas. I think Austin should get a team. I think Seattle needs to get their team back. Here's another one. Portland. 2 years. I need a 2-year deal.
2-year deal.
I'm being real. I'm being completely honest, man. Miami, that's a max. Okay. Right? Max. Atlanta. Ooh. It depends on management. I'd have to feel comfortable with management because Atlanta has had some problems with their management folks, but because it's Atlanta and it's a growing city, I would take the max.
It's a 4-year, 5th option in Atlanta. What about New Orleans or Brooklyn?
New Orleans, 2-year deal.
Goodness.
2-year deal. Brooklyn, max. Nah. Wait a minute. Management. They got problems with management. 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 So 2 years.
Wizards.
There's a reason why KD is not left, and it ain't because of the play. It's because the environment was not where it needed to be. So yeah.
And then the
Knicks, max. It's the Knicks, even though they can't win nothing in the playoffs, man.
It's NY.
Every year is their year.
The Mecca. So real quick, I have a list of players in which I was just talking about, which I would like to ask: are they NBA Hall of Fame blocks? So this is active players only, in which I know some of them are going to be. So I would like to know: do you think any of these is someone missing off this list, or is someone on this list that shouldn't be on it? So of course we have LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Giannis Antetokounmpo already, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Nikola Jokic already, another one, young one, Damian Lillard, Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony. Shout out Carmelo, who just announced this morning that he is hanging them up after 19 years. Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler, pretty early in for a player who hasn't won a championship or anything like that. Paul George, another one. Luka Doncic, early. Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Joel Embiid, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, interesting, and Kevin Love. Does everyone deserve to be on that list as a active lock going to the Hall of Fame?
There's a lot of people who should not be on the list. Okay.
Goodness, wow.
So let's just start with Kawhi Leonard. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You sit out a season with Greg Popovich.
Did he? Yes, correct.
You sit out a season with Greg Popovich. Was he? How injured was he?
Yeah, that because then.
Okay. So no. To me, nah. You're
Not a
not.
lot.
You're not a Hall of Famer. Kevin Love, maybe.
How does
Kyle Lowry,
How
no.
does he get on this list?
How you even get on the list? Who else you had? You had
DeMar DeRozan.
Paul George, negative. Got to show me something in a playoff game consistently. No. Chris Paul, yes. KD, yes. Steph Curry, yes.
James Harden.
Yes. Yes. Russell Westbrook, yes.
Jokic, even in his young career.
Huh?
Jokic.
Yes, definitely. When it's all said and done, Jokic is going to be one of the all-time great big men of the NBA. So definitely, yes. Who else? Who else was on there?
Dame.
Who?
Damian Lillard.
Yes, definitely. Damian Lillard is the second best shooter in the NBA.
You know what? I can agree with that. And he has range.
Yep.
Dwight Howard.
Yes. Pre Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard, Orlando Magic Dwight Howard. Yes.
Okay. Carmelo Anthony.
Definitely.
AD.
KD?
Anthony Davis.
Hell no. Hell no.
Not a lock. Not a lock.
Hell no. You can't even get your stats up because you can't play more than 50 games. Hell no.
You said Paul George, no. DeMar DeRozan, no. Draymond Green.
DeMar DeRozan, maybe, because he's been consistent. Even though he hasn't won, his stats, I think, could probably get him there.
Okay. Klay Thompson.
Definitely.
Kyrie.
Yes, sure. Mr. Flat Earth.
Last two, of course, one being Luka Doncic.
Haven't seen enough of him yet.
Okay. And that's what Coach Cal said. Luka not yet, but we know he will be. And the other one, which we talked about, we had so much praise for earlier, Jimmy Butler.
And he can't guard anybody. Jimmy Butler, he is depending. So if they get to the finals and it's a good final, he don't even have to win the finals. If he gets to the finals based off his career and this run that he's had, absolutely. Absolutely. He should be in the Hall of Fame because he's had a pretty good statistical career. He's basically carrying a team, on his own. I mean, can you imagine if Jimmy Butler had help? If he had somebody like Damian Lillard on his team,
a third wheel or something like that.
Somebody like that.
Yeah, him and Bam are doing damage right now. Like you said, he has someone else.
He would be phenomenal. So
to get him off the ball to be able to add another
yep.
score.
So Imagine if the Warriors, I hope they don't break up the team, but if they do and somebody like Klay Thompson goes to Miami, it's ridiculous. So, but yeah, so Jimmy Butler, yeah.
What do you think about Eric Spoelstra? Is he a Hall of Fame coach?
Eric Spoelstra is a Hall of Fame coach, period, without a doubt. You don't. This dude was the video guy,
The
man.
video guy, video editing guy.
And Eric Spoelstra has been the coach. I mean, he's almost going on 20 years now. I mean,
Hmm.
he's been coaching for a long time.
Successful at
And
that.
he's been through different rebuilding periods for Miami. And what he's showing is, you know, he can lead a program, right? He can be given the pieces and the tools that he has, and he can win with them.
Hmm.
He's not trying to, I mean, I think that's a great statement, Coach. There's a lot of coaches in the league um, that scream loud and talk a lot of noise and look for the cameras every time they can.
Hmm.
Spoelstra's out there
Hmm.
coaching. Okay, it's like how when you play dominoes and you watch the dominoes and you
Hmm.
let everybody take whatever they have and then you just take the rest. That's Spoelstra.
That's Spoelstra. And then
That's
that goes.
Spoelstra.
That's even odd when you look at it. Shout out to Pat Riley for even recognizing him and hiring him at that point to where he seen something in him. And obviously, of course, we like Coach Commissioner Myers just said. You look at what has happened over the course of time. Like, yes, he had LeBron, he had Chris Bosh, he had Dwayne Wade, but then he did have him, and he's still doing it. And he just has Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and he's continuing. He's continuing to do it. So like his consistency, like he's definitely like he said, he was in the video editing, creating running editing video to give to the coaches for them to show the players and he sat there, he tested time, and look where he is now, definitely a Hall of Fame coach. 6 championships he's been in, 3 of them which he's won, and then he also won one as an assistant coach um, when Dwayne Wade and Shaq were there. So he said he had a nice sharpening, walking in group to sharpen his tools. I mean, I guess you could say that, but look at they've been gone. Whatever his tools has been sharp for a while.
I mean, it's just you know you never know. I wouldn't knock anyone who's trying to who starts off at some level of being with a program. But when you're in charge of video, you get a chance to analyze things, and then
Mm-hmm.
like Kyle said, he's got Pat Riley. I mean, it's just cool to have to have that mentor there. But I mean, you know, you can look at Spoelstra on the sidelines and you can see that, he's in command of what he's doing. The guys are responding to him. He's a great coach, man. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He will get in the Hall of Fame. It's just a matter of time. And it won't be because he had the decision. We had LeBron James and Ray Allen and Chris Bosh and all those guys. It'll be because, he weathered the storm. He helped a lot of great players, tap into some things that they didn't know they had. And he led a team that was basically an eighth seed all the way to one game from being within the NBA Finals. That's what Spoelstra is going to be remembered for, and he should be. He should be. So, yeah, I hope. I definitely think he's a Hall of Fame coach.
Definitely want to get there. So of course that it's been a greatly appreciated to have Commissioner Myers on today. Commissioner Myers, what is it that you have coming up for the NBA that you can let us know? St. Kyle, we know that the All Star game is coming up in September, correct?
Yep, that's correct. All-Star games coming up in September. Coaches conferences in September. Looking forward to um, based off of the success that we've had now, just building and continuing to build and with our partners to make the league great again, and even better than this year. So, obviously with the standard that we've set this year, we're going to have to try to duplicate that or exceed it.
Correct.
Probably get more games televised and telecast. Just more partners and trying to bring the game to the next level. But the biggest thing that's in front of us right now is just, shout outs to these teams that are going to be, that are preparing to travel. Some will probably start their travel situation tomorrow or Wednesday, and, safe travels to them, and, have a lot of fun. Come here ready to have a lot of fun, and prepared to seriously, make your mark on history. It's a historic time.
Mm. Odds. What's the odds on favorite at this point? Who's the favorite in your opinion for the
I honestly
NBA
don't know,
championship?
man, to be
Okay.
completely honest with you.
It goes
And
back to
and
what
that's
y'all
the
say all the
truth,
time:
because
the traveling.
I've seen all the teams.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen all the teams, and I've seen all of them at their best, with their greatest strengths, and I've seen them I've seen their weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So, the team that travels really well, and the team that plays like a team, sacrifices for the team, is a team that's going to win. And it's probably going to be some team that's been a program all year long, weathered the storm, been through adversity, and that's the team that's probably going to come out on top. And so, whatever it is, it'll be well deserved.
Mm. And this time, let me see. I was trying to bring this up. I didn't realize I had put something up. It was wrong. Um, Military Basketball Association. Y'all know Wichita, Kansas for the championships. If you could be there, be in the building. If not, you'll be able to catch it being streamed on a plethora of platforms. Pluto TV is going to have you on your streaming pleasures. Direct TV, as well as CBS Sports for the championship game. Who will be there? You don't know, of course. If you have the opportunity, if you're actually really looking into seeing that, go check out the NBA Facebook page and or the NBA website, in which you can catch all the information. So you'll be locked and cocked, ready to go. You won't miss a thing. You'll be able to see everything going on this weekend, Wichita, Kansas, Memorial Day weekend. Commissioner Myers, please, you got the floor. Any last parting words, sir?
All right, man. I'll catch up with you
Appreciate it. Good looking. Be sure to
later.
tap in. All right. Enjoy. Bye.